In 1802, Captain Mathew Flinders sent some of his crew out in a cutter to search for fresh water along the coast near present-day Port Lincoln. The boat never returned with all on board presumed drowned. To commemorate his great friend John Thistle and the other 7 lost souls, Flinders commissioned his crew to engrave this piece of copper and left it at the place he named Memory Cove. A plaque such as this, though, is not the only way we might remember those who have died.
Now, this land here is living. It's telling me stories. Stories from the beginning of time. I remember these stories about places and where my ancestors have been. And I remember them because I can see them in the land. You know, this country tells us stories through the trees, the hills, the stars, and all the creeks that connect us. Every part of the land and the sky has a story connected to it. And this is how we learn. This is how we learn our history. And this is how we remember it. A great-grandmother, you know, she's remembered here. That's her tree over there. No birth certificate. That is where she is born. No marker. But that tree is where she is recorded. And our histories are written in this land. And I feel her spirit is here. Even though she no longer is. And the names of all of these places, that tree over there, that hill over there, the river that flows nearby, they carry all the names given to them by the ancestors. Names that they will have always, forever.
My dear Mr. Thistle, John, words are not adequate at this time to write or speak, and yet I must do both. You're a good man and a good member of society. The loss is felt by me and lamented by all on board, especially by your messmates who knew the goodness and stability of your disposition. But of course, it wasn't just you. 8 good men in total. 8 souls lost. And while one is accustomed to such loss at sea, I'm more saddened by this than any other time in all my voyages. In recent hours, several men have seen sharks, and it has just been made known to me by Mr. Fowler that a compass and binnacle have been found floating in nearby waters, both belonging to Mr. Thistle. It's clear that all are lost. We will honour you all through words we leave behind. In doing so, I will name this place Memory Cove. The nearby island, Thistle Island. After you, John Thistle. We shall name the headland Cape Catastrophe. And with these words, upon a plaque to be forever in this place, we will honour and remember you all. We shall not forget. His Majesty's ship Investigator, with Mathew Flinders as commander, anchored at Memory Cove in February 1802. Mr. John Thistle, the master, Mr. William Taylor, midshipman, and 6 of the crew were unfortunately drowned nearby when their boat capsized. The wreck of the boat was found, but their bodies were not recovered. Nauticae cavitae, sailors beware.
For many First Nations people, the stories of those who have come before live in the land itself. The land has a memory. It's where all the stories live. Traditional law in much of Australia says that a dead person's name can't be used, else you disturb their spirit, while ceremonies and mourning periods can last for days, weeks, and even months. For Captain Mathew Flinders, it was important that there was an engraved plaque near to the place where the deaths of his crew occurred. The plaque was served as a grave marker in a place where there was no cemetery, no graves, and no tombstones. The final plaque was crafted from copper used to protect the ship's hull, something that happened to be on hand at the time. As you can see, many words are missing from what remains of the plaque. So, how do we know what the actual words were? Flinders maintained meticulously detailed logbooks. In his logbooks, he also references the naming of the surrounding islands to commemorate each crew member who perished with names such as Cape Catastrophe and Memory Cove. As sympathetic as we are to the plight of Flinders and his crew, though we also need to understand that Flinders was given names to places where people had been living for generations. The men died in the waters that are part of Nao land, looking for fresh water on Nao land. The plaque was placed on Nao land. Colonisation has seen most of the words in the Nao language lost. In renaming and memorialising these places, Flinders was also erasing the names that had already been named. The story of Memory Cove reminds us that different cultures handle death in different ways. It also reminds us that this land was already full of memories and stories and names well before the arrival of Europeans.